Let's talk about democracy, a system where power rests with the people. It's the foundation of our society, shaping how we live, work, and interact with one another. Democracy isn't just a word in textbooks, it's the reason we have a say in the decisions that affect our daily lives. It's more than just voting, it's about rights like free speech, a free press, and the ability to protest. These freedoms let us challenge authority, share ideas, and demand change when things aren't right. They're the tools that keep our leaders accountable and our society open. Democracy means no one is above the law, not even those in charge. Laws apply equally to everyone, from the most powerful officials to everyday citizens. This principle protects us from abuse of power and ensures justice is possible. Why care? Because democracy protects us from tyranny and gives us a voice in shaping our lives. It's what lets us gather, speak out, and organize for causes we believe in, whether at home, in our communities, or on a national stage. It lets us fight for better wages, cleaner air, and the right to disagree, without fear. In a democracy, disagreement isn't a threat. It's a sign of a healthy society where different perspectives are valued and debated. Sure, it's messy and slow, but the alternative is a world where your opinion doesn't matter and your rights are optional. When democracy breaks down, people lose their voices and decisions are made behind closed doors. Think of democracy as the plumbing of society. Invisible when it works, disastrous when it fails. We rarely notice it when everything runs smoothly, but when it's neglected, the consequences can be catastrophic for everyone. It allows peaceful power transfers and protects minority rights. Even those with less power or unpopular opinions are shielded from oppression, and leadership changes happen without violence. But democracy isn't automatic. It needs active participation and vigilance. Every vote, every conversation, every act of engagement helps keep it alive and strong. When we get complacent, authoritarianism creeps in. Power can concentrate in the hands of a few, and freedoms can slip away quietly if we're not paying attention. We can't take it for granted. It's a garden that needs constant care. Just like plants need water and sunlight, democracy needs our involvement and protection to thrive. And right now that garden is looking pretty overgrown. The weeds of apathy and division are threatening to choke out what makes democracy strong. It's up to all of us to tend to it, nurture it, and make sure it grows for generations to come. How do you know when democracy is in trouble? The warning signs aren't always obvious, and they rarely come all at once. Instead, they creep in gradually, often hidden beneath the surface of daily life. It's rarely a sudden coup. It's a slow erosion. Institutions that once seemed unshakable begin to weaken, and the foundations of freedom start to crack. Watch for attacks on the free press. Calling journalists enemies is a classic move to discredit accountability. When those in power try to silence or intimidate reporters, it's a sign they fear scrutiny and want to control the narrative. Leaders who ignore the rule of law, fire watchdogs, or demand personal loyalty are undermining democracy. When checks and balances are dismantled, leaders can act without consequence, putting personal interests above the public good. Us versus them nationalism is another red flag, scapegoating minorities to distract from failures. This tactic divides society, making it easier for those in power to justify harsh measures and avoid responsibility. When leaders create a constant sense of crisis, they justify grabbing more power. Manufactured emergencies can be used to suspend rights, silence critics, and centralize authority in the name of security. The most dangerous sign? A war on truth itself. Propaganda, misinformation, and reality distortion. When facts are twisted or drowned out, citizens lose the ability to make informed choices. If facts become irrelevant, debate and accountability vanish. Public discourse breaks down, and meaningful discussion is replaced by confusion and mistrust. When you can't agree on reality, democracy can't function. A shared understanding of truth is essential for compromise, cooperation, and progress. That's exactly where aspiring autocrats want you. Divided, uncertain, and unable to hold them accountable. If these warning signs sound familiar, it's because history is rhyming with the 1930s. Back then, economic crisis and lost faith in democracy paved the way for fascist leaders. Extremists offered simple answers, blamed scapegoats, and promised national greatness. Propaganda and attacks on the press helped them build cults of personality. Elites underestimated these leaders, thinking they could control them, until it was too late. Democracy's collapse was enabled by those who thought, it can't happen here, That's the lesson. Complacency and cynicism open the door to dictatorship. Let's look at a real-time example. Donald Trump's return to power in 2025. The warning signs are now daily headlines. Firing career officials and replacing them with loyalists isn't reform, it's a purge. Demanding personal loyalty from law enforcement and the military erodes democratic guardrails. Attacks on the press have escalated. Journalists risk losing access for asking tough questions. The assault on truth is supercharged by AI and misinformation, making it harder to know what's real. Even symbolism matters. Gestures and rhetoric echoing authoritarian regimes aren't subtle. Historians warn, we're watching democracy unravel in real time. The evidence is mounting and it's alarming. This isn't theory, it's happening now. Comparing Trump to Hitler or Mussolini isn't about making lazy analogies. There are differences. Hitler's genocidal ideology was unique, while Trump's focus is on personal power. But the effect on democracy can be similar, using the system to destroy the system. Both men survived failed coups and then used legal means to seize power. Once in office, they launched legal revolutions to dismantle democracy from within. The style, rallies, scapegoating, attacks on the press, echoes the past. These aren't superficial similarities. They're fundamental to the authoritarian playbook. History shows this pattern never ends well. The rhymes with history are getting louder. Autocrats don't rise alone, they need enablers. Business elites and media can either resist or empower anti-democratic leaders. In Nazi Germany, corporations profited by supporting the regime. Today, some business leaders trade democracy for tax cuts and deregulation. This bargain gives autocrats legitimacy while hollowing out the system. The media's role is just as critical. A free press holds power to account, but intimidation and profit motives can turn it into a mouthpiece. Outrage and controversy drive ratings, sometimes normalizing extremism. When media and business prioritize access and profit over principle, they become accomplices. Democracy depends on their courage to resist. Here we are, facing a crisis that history has warned us about. The echoes of the past are all around us, reminding us that the dangers to democracy are never as distant as we might hope. Time and again, societies have ignored the warning signs, only to pay a heavy price for their complacency. The lesson? Take the threat seriously. Complacency is the autocrat's best friend. When we turn away, when we assume someone else will step up, we leave the door open for those who would undermine our freedoms. Protecting democracy requires active, informed participation from all of us. It's not just about voting every few years, it's about staying engaged, asking questions, and holding leaders accountable every single day. Support real journalism, show up at the ballot box and push back against misinformation, share facts, challenge lies, and help others see through the fog of propaganda. Demand more from business and media. Remind them democracy is the foundation of prosperity and freedom. Their choices shape public opinion and policy, so their responsibility is enormous. Champion journalists who speak truth to power. Defend their right to investigate, question, and report without fear or favor. Democracy is fragile, not guaranteed. It can be chipped away slowly, almost invisibly, until one day it's gone. Its guardrails, free press, independent courts, engaged citizens, are only as strong as our will to defend them. If we neglect them, they weaken. If we nurture them, they endure. History shows how democracies die. Let's use that knowledge as a call to action, not despair. The past is full of lessons, but also of hope, of people who stood up and made a difference. Our freedoms depend on it. The next generation is watching, learning from our choices, and counting on us to protect what matters most. Once lost, they're nearly impossible to regain. The cost of inaction is far greater than the effort it takes to defend our rights today. The time to act is now. Our future, and the future of democracy, depends on what we do next.